All right, everybody. We haven't done Based in the Woods in a while, and I got this new little mic here. This is a Lark C1. I used it to record the CPI conference. It's got a little charging case. There's two mics, and then it plugs directly into the back of my iPhone. I'm trying one of the wind screens today because it's kind of it's a little windy outside. It's got a charging cable and a little carrying case, so we're gonna try it out. I'm not going on the big long trail I usually go on because my dad's birthday, 64th birthday. Here's my card from my dad. That his party's in about an hour and a half, so I'm gonna try to get this in for my millions of fans. Y'all need some content. Based in the Woods number 6. I still like the idea of doing Based in the Woods like this, and usually helps me make content. Oh boy, I don't know if this is gonna work. This microphone here. We'll try it. It usually helps me make it if I have some kind of new tech to try out. Make sure we're all locked. Satisfy my OCD. Yes. All right. So, here we go. This is the upper elementary school I went to when I was a kid. It's one of the fun points of living in the your hometown. You get to see things kind of change over time. And they put in this nice little walking trail a few years ago. I actually worked for the newspaper and covered it when they put it in. The Tiger Trail, 1.5 miles. I think I've settled on a recording speed for my camera here. I realized the Pro lets you do 24 frames for kind of the cinematic feel. And why not? If it lets us do that. This has adorably cute little small side trails. If it lets you do that, why not try it, you know? Let's pull this out a little bit. You can get a little bit more of the woods here. Oh, pretty beautiful. Hoping the audio works okay. It's very windy, and I would turn on the noise cancellation on this beast, but I hate how noise cancellation sounds. It's always so muffled and weird sounding. So I'm gonna try it just like this and see how it goes. Saw one of my students, really good kid. He's walking out here with a friend, so I gave him like 5 minutes to kind of go ahead because I don't know, part of walking out in nature, at least for me, you kind of like doing your own thing, being by yourself a little bit. So we just finished up the CPI conference. I recorded all the videos, and those will be coming out shortly. I copied them on a hard drive for Caleb, so I'm giving him some time, put those out at his own pace. We'll see what happens, but we got lots of good material coming out for you here soon. You can look forward to that. What's going on in the news? What have I been listening to today? Well, I guess July 1st is going to be a big day for the Fed. The Fed Now program appears to be coming out around that time, and some people think that'll be a way to replace ACH holds. You know, when you move money from place to place in the middle of the night, it takes a while to clear. Well, from what I understand, the FedNow program will be replacing that back-end system, so the money should clear between banks very quickly. Jerome Powell went out the other day and said that it's not the precursor of a digital dollar or a CBDC, and that in America there will always be a private bank intermediary between the federal government and any sort of Fed coin, if you will. But some tinfoil hatters out there who've had a decent track record as of late said that it might be sort of a Trojan horse. They'll get all the banks on it, wait for a crisis, and then offer Fed coin as some sort of, what do you call it, universal basic income. Kind of like the stimmy checks during the COVID id. And then if you need that money, if you want that money, most people need it. If we're in another Great Depression scenario, it'll be a good way to get people locked in the system. But I just don't know. Everyone's so worried about that. I don't know. There's all these decentralized cryptos. You'd have to shut every single one of those down. And I personally think that would be about as easy as shutting down Napster, Kazaa, LimeWire, BitTorrent. Crypto's kind of the music file sharing of money. And there's always going to be somebody running those nodes. You have to track down every single person running a node in $1 trillion market. That'll be a little difficult, I think. And, I mean, there's still the analog real world. People can buy and sell gold, you know, or whatever. Trade and barter silver. I mean, how are you going to stop that? I mean, they have the tools for like total surveillance now, but I don't think they have enough people to enforce it. I mean, if we're leading into a real totalitarian dictatorship mode, you know, which is funny because I actually learned the other day, someone taught me about Hitler didn't go after, like, he didn't set up the camps in Germany because he needed to retain respect for the German government. And that was really interesting to me. He set them up in the nearby countries that he'd conquered because if he did it at home, why respect the government at home if they're committing atrocities like that? It's interesting to me that that's kind of going on in America right now with this sort of lawfare. You know, Biden's trying to put Trumpy Bear in prison. The Republicans are going after Hunter. I really kind of feel the Hunter stuff is a strong arm of the Obama faction of the Democratic Party, trying to force Joe to go the nice way before they have to let those charges just go through. But whatever it is, it's undermining faith in the idea that we live in a meritocracy or we live in a country of laws, you know, liberal contracts that are upheld equally amongst the population. Most people just laugh out loud at that these days, and for good reason. But yeah, that's why you don't do it at home, and they're starting to do it at home. I think largely because they're desperate. The thing is falling apart and they're not quite sure what to do. The actual economy, like for everyday people, is getting tighter and tighter, you know. The cost of a dozen eggs is increasing. But for the people playing the market, they've always got some fun horse to ride. In the past couple months, it's been NVIDIA. I just watched a thing just now talking about Unity taking off. It was a Paul Barron network. Great channel. Check out Paul Barron if you haven't already. He was talking about you want to find stocks that are in the trifecta of augmented virtual reality, AI, and blockchain. That's the holy or unholy trinity of investment, however you want to look at it. But those are going to ride for a while, the tech stocks. And the best advice, financial advice I've ever received, which I guess you're supposed to always say, this is not financial advice. I mean, I'm an English teacher in rural Missouri. I wouldn't take stock tips from me. But this is just general advice to spend your money where you spend your time. And so what am I doing right now? Staring into an Apple iPhone, recording a video that I will upload to Alphabet's YouTube, Google, Apple, Google. This stick's made by Autumn Tech. I don't know what that is, but it's a good selfie stick. And then this is the Hollyland Lark C1. It's gonna go for the road, but since we're talking finances, I am trying to focus on my own a little bit more here. And it's something, when you have a channel like this, everyone kind of decides what parts of their life or personality they'll put out there. And I've put a lot out there as far as like my college debt, that's the big one. I've got a little credit card debt, but nothing I couldn't knock out in 6 months if I needed to. It'd be a tight 6 months, but we could do it. It's just funny because when you have a lot of debt on your plate, you start thinking, what's the easiest way to pay this off? You know, if you're in investing, you can kind of see where the market's going, and maybe your money's better in a higher return vehicle that you can cash out later on and pay that debt off. And that might be a much smarter, simpler way to pay back your creditors than taking a third and fourth job at McDonald's and Burger King, which will just eat up all of your time and energy. It's very weird. Me with investing, the best I ever did was during COVID, and it required zero work. It was just waiting for a crisis and investing in the right asset at the right time. And that's how money's really made in this economy, in capitalism. There's no plan, no stable plan. The plan is crisis, collapse, rebuy at the bottom, sell at the top, do that over and over again. And I'm a firm believer that for working class people to get ahead, you got to play that game, because that's the only game in capitalism town. You know, it's kind of like poverty thinking is thinking, how can I live as poor as possible and work as hard as possible? The people with serious money don't do that. They buy and sell stock, crypto, bonds, real estate. So, got to get your toe in that water as quickly as possible. But all that to say, I don't know. I've been thinking about whether I want to incorporate my own financial journey into this channel. You're always afraid to share your finances in America. Number one, because your worth as a man is directly tied to your bank account. You know, that's how society teaches you. I think it goes back to Calvinism, Protestantism, but it's real. You feel very exposed. And, but I think that's kind of part of this. What I want to do with this channel is to make middle-aged millennials realize they're not alone and share some of the strategies I'm using to try to better my own life and my family's life. But I did have some people follow me on the Strange Bedfellows podcast. We had 4 episodes. And I want to be careful with how I explain this because I was super grateful to the opportunity from my friend Lori Spencer, who recommended me as a co-host, to Scott Ritter. It's part of the Ask the Inspector podcast, and for giving me a chance to step in and fill in while he was in Russia. I don't know exactly what happened behind the scenes, but I imagine Jeff, who Lori and I worked with, asked Scott for the thumbs up on hiring me. And I thumbs up to you, Scott. I love you. And Jeff, I really appreciate the opportunity to work with the podcast as well. It was a great time. I learned a lot, and we made some quality episodes. So why is it not happening anymore? Well, for me at least, I just realized with doing this thing that I really want to do my own thing. I want to take goofy walks like this in the woods and just talk to you about where I'm at, what I'm learning. And I've done journalism for other people. I used to work for the local paper here. I used to work for a magazine in Columbia as the music editor. And I always appreciate the opportunities, always. But I am just the kind of person that needs to be my own boss. I need to be the Julian Assange of WikiLeaks. And that's not... I try to institute my Christian humbleness in here because I hope it's not about my own ego. I don't want that to be the case. But it's mainly, I just want to always retain editorial control of my content. And there's nothing that Jeff or Scott stepped on at all. I'm not saying that at all. It's also just retaining control of my time and my own autonomy. So it's nothing to do with that podcast. It's just like the idea of doing a show every week at a certain time, no matter what, is not my personality. Maybe we'll get one in for the week. I have a podcast idea with my friend Dave, my best friend Dave, that I want you guys to keep an eye out for. It'll be we'll drop our first episode this summer for sure, but me and Dave are of the mind that we'll get one out a month, you know. Like when it comes out, it'll come out. But if you try to pin us down to do it at a certain time every week, I know us both and we'll burn out and quit. So, like I said, I really appreciate the opportunity, but I just want to do my own thing. And I'm grateful to have the technology is at the point where it's so easy to do that, you know, like this. My long-term view of what I want to do with my life to help out things is, I think the world would be, imagine a world where there is a WikiLeaks in every city and town in the world. I really feel like that would be a far better world. And where I live, literally no one records any of the public meetings. The alderman meeting, city council meeting, county commissioner meetings, school board meetings, hospital board meeting. Nobody records this. There's no recording or transcript. It's a town of about 5,000, so most people up till now have been happy with just a local reporter from the newspaper going and writing 300 words on what happened at that meeting. But I was that reporter for years, and I would go and try to figure it out, but you'd hear all these crazy numbers, Fund 1, Fund 4, you know, tax levy, and I got to cover 3 other meetings that week. And it occurred to me quickly that, you know, let me make sure I'm still recording. Yep. It occurred to me that if there was a recording of it and other people could watch it and read the transcript, which is super easy to do with AI now. I can't remember that program I bought. I think it's MacSpeak or something like that. It'll just, you upload the audio and it transcribes it for you. Like, that would be very valuable. And then like a local doctor could watch the hospital board meeting and figure out what to do. It's just a way to have a record of what's going on, you know. As a teacher, I can't make it to every board meeting. I'd like to see what was said or what's going on. Or my whole thing in life is I always want to go to the source. Like when I hear the Duran talk about like Blinken's meeting and, one of the Alexes will talk about reading the Chinese readout. I actually want to go read the readout. That's what I loved about WikiLeaks. They let me decide for myself what was going on. Because I know I've been the journalist trying to figure it out, and it's not that easy. Especially when other people will have far more knowledge about that subject. You know, I have a local ex-science teacher that's made it his thing to figure out the municipal water system. He's, write a 10-page paper on what's going on with that, and he's always going to know that better than me. So that should be coming soon. That's another project I want to do. Should be on the SalemIndependent.com. Cover local stuff. And another project I have is it'll be TylerMcConnell.net. My goal is on my birthday, which is in July, I will start posting a little bit every day on there, and then I'm hoping to use the Salem Independent as my project to finish my master's degree in journalism. That is my long-term goal. I took all the classes. Like many of us, things came out of nowhere. you know, family-wise, certain problems. Everybody's got a sad story. You don't want to hear mine all the time, but, you know, 2.5 kids later, I'd like to go back and finish that thing. If for no other reason than give me a pay bump as a teacher. And I think it's good to finish what you start. If I can use it to build something that will actually help the community, I think that's fantastic. That's was kind of the hang up with writing my thesis. I tried to write one on the importance of satire in journalism, and then I thought about writing one covering my dad's mining strike at the local mine here in the 80s. And I just never went anywhere. And when this Salem Independent idea clicked in my head, I realized that maybe the reason those other ideas didn't go anywhere is because God had a bigger plan for me with this project. And so I'm excited to do that, and I'm excited to write a little bit on TylerMcConnell.net every day. I've always been inspired by Seth Godin. I think his blog is literally like sethsblog.org or something. If you Google Seth, he's this marketing creative guy. I mean, as a Marxist communist, I'm not going to agree with Seth on every economic idea, but as far as being in this system, he's fantastic for how to thrive in American capitalism and be a creative person, and props to him for that. Even Marx said there's a lot of great things that can come out of the system, so I'm going to try to take full advantage of it and make a little paper for me and my family, pay off this debt, and hopefully one day I can make a video for you explaining how I got out of debt by being willing to share myself like this, work hard, grinding in 4 or 5 different jobs. And I really love teaching. I don't think I'll ever quit teaching, even if I make $1 million. I just genuinely love that gig, and it's a great little stability in the day. It's hard as an ENFP in the summertime when you have total free time to structure your day, but here soon I think I'm going to start waking up early and doing live streams every morning. Get my 10,000 steps in, then get an hour live stream in, usually recording a book, and then we'll catch up on Based at Home. Little political commentary, 2 hours a week, fit it in somewhere there. Trying to get back on the old classic live stream schedule, but I know for me, I need to wake up early and do that, because when I wake up with my family, I love my little girls so much that when they cry when I leave to go work, I almost can't do it. So I need to, the older I get, the more I realize that that's why creatives wake up, the 5 a.m. club or whatever, because no one can really guilt trip you for not being with them at that point. And my family is really important to me. I love my babies, and if they want to be around me, I want to be around them. So my wife too, way out of my league. So if they want to be around me, I want to be around them. So we're going to start that in the morning, and these are things should be coming up in the life of old Tyler McConnell on the internet. So I love you guys. Let's hope this worked out well video wise. We use just the normal 1x lens today, 24 frames, 4K, and we're gonna go celebrate a birthday with Pawpaw Gary. So let's see how this audio turned out. Peace out. Love y'all.